I finally managed to get my hands on one of these lenses. I've been looking around for some time and finally I've got one. And it's a bit of a rarity for two reasons. One, the focal length, 45 to 125 millimeters. Yeah, how would you class that? I think landscape. You let me know if you think any different. And also a bit of a rarity. You try and find one of these, and not as readily available as a lot of other vintage lenses. And it's the Pentax SMC 45 to 125 millimeter. SMC, I believe, is super multi-coated, and you can see there are some very nice coatings on this lens. So how much did I pay for this lens? A very rare one, £10. I mean, okay, it's well used. It's a Pentax bayonet fit here, but I've got my Pentax to EOS adapter, so not a problem. There's some evident marks on the lens, maybe minor scratches, and quite a lot of internal dust. But as you'll see from the results, that doesn't really make any difference. Now, I tend not to look at what other reviewers say about lenses in case it influences me in any way, but in this case I have done. I agree and disagree with some points made by other reviewers. Now, a couple of people have said it's quite a heavy lens, but you know me, it's not heavy, it's well built, and this is very, very well built. Nice metal construction. And check this out. Yeah, are you waiting for the lens creep? No, it's staying in position. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I was actually struggling to get the zoom to work at first, thinking, is it a different type of design? Do you twist the zoom or something? Because I couldn't get it to move, but it does very slowly. But when you think about it, when it comes to using a vintage lens, it's all about taking your time, so that there's no rush to do your focus and your f-stops and zoom. Just take your time, and so yeah, that is not a problem, and yeah, it stays in place wherever you leave it. F-stops, it's f4 throughout the range up to f22. Does anybody actually use f22 in photography now? If you do, let me know. It's one stop increments at either end, but in the middle there is little half stops, and so yeah, build quality very, very good. A nice solid piece of lens kit, well built, not heavy. And so we'll get on to the close focus. And yeah, as with vintage lenses go, manual focus, it's not a close focus lens this, and you have to be absolutely spot on, bang on. And if you do miss that accurate focus sweet spot, then when you crop in, you know, well, as you can see from these results, I took an image of this flower thinking I'd focus on the flower, but then when you cropped in I was actually focused exactly on the stem. But I think you'll agree, for a very heavily cropped image, the image quality, and this is at 125, is very good. And again, with this other plant, just cropped in on the certain point where it's that sweet spot, you can see a little bug there that I never knew there was in the first place. So yeah, if you take your time and get that focus accurate, maybe take a few different shots at slightly different focus, then yeah, you will be rewarded with some fantastic results. And so well, you do get some nice background blur, as this photograph shows. It looks like I've maybe completely missed the focus, but I actually focused on the foreground to send the background out of focus, and you can get some very nice effects. And so looking at the bokeh, I say that because I did a recent poll on my channel to see, because I've always called it Bokeh, but apparently it's bokeh according to my channel subscribers. And so looking at the bokeh, You can see some evident, I think these are cat's eyes bokeh balls, or would you describe them differently? What do you think to the effect that they give? I think very nice, very nice out of focus background you can get. And I have got a little cheat sheet here, by the way, just to get things in order. And so yeah, just testing the effects with different F ratios. I think these were about 100mm, these roses next to the bank of the Humber, f5.6, no, f4, f5.6 and f11, so you can just check that out of focus background, and some very nice colours and contrast. And so looking at these final images, these were taken, and I'll come into the reasons why, with just normal JPEGs and not RAW files, because I wanted you to see the results straight out the camera. And they are f8 at 45, 90 and 125mm, and I think the results, you know, for those that take in landscapes or distant shots like this, are pretty sharp. I'm very impressed for a lens that's what, 40 or more years old. I don't know. So yeah, and finally, the chromatic aberration test, I cropped in heavily to the centre of the shot, and I think you'll agree there's no chromatic aberration at all. I mean, quite remarkable. And so then I did the same trick, and I cropped in right towards the edge where the wind farm was, and again, very little or no chromatic aberration to be seen. I know if you take a raw file and there is some evidence, then maybe you'll be able to just get rid of it, but very impressive low levels of CA. And just to give an example, I did a recent review of the Chinon f3.5 200mm, and looking at similar wind farms, the blades, look at the difference between the chromatic aberration between the Pentax and the Chinon, and it's off the scale, the difference. And so that's summing up the Pentax SMC 45 to 125 f4, a cracking lens if you can get hold of one. Even better if you can get hold of one for a tenner or the equivalent of wherever you are. So yeah, get some very nice results. You will have to get the focus absolutely spot on, so it will take some practice, but as mentioned before, using a vintage camera lens, it's all about taking your time and enjoying the experience. And I really enjoyed using this lens, and it's going to get well used in the months and years ahead. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more lens reviews, just go to my channel, look at the playlist, and you'll see camera lenses, and you'll see lots of reviews on different lenses that I've done with many sample images. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time.